Silence is this mysterious energy of a mysterious space that has no boundaries, that we cannot define it, we cannot encapsulate it. And when the mind is looking for silence, it never can find it. Have you noticed that? That when there are this movement of the mind wanted to be silenced, wanted to find it, wanted to be silence, then silence is very elusive. Where is it? If I do this, I sit down and I lay down and I do whatever I wanted to do, I cannot find it. What is overlooked is that when I stop trying to get silence, silence reveals to be here, to be available. So I really love this way that every time that we sit, we check in to see what is here already. You know, before that I'm able to do anything, before that I try to stop the mind, before that I have the expectation, before anything, just to check in and see what is already present, what is already here. Because what we can notice is that there is a silence that is always here, even when we are speaking. Because when we stop talking, there is silence. Between one thought and another, there is silence. Between this and that, there is a space. So I think that this is important to look at it because we can actually free ourselves tremendously from the idea that we have to be in a particular state to be present as who we are. There is this idea in the mind that has been learned, that has been read in a book, that has telling us that for us to be who we are, we need to reach certain kind of state. And not only to reach that state, but to maintain that state. To be in this holy land with a halo all over your head. So one thing that we need to consider, that every creation that we do as artists, we magnified everything. It's like if we're going to paint a moon, we don't paint the moon, we paint a moon. If we're going to paint anything, we enlarge. And there is something that is important in that, because what an artist wants is to call the attention, so that when you see this huge moon in front of you, like never you'll be able to see it outside, maybe you will get into that frame of energy that will inspire you to go outside and see that moon that you saw in a painting. It's so interesting that sometimes we call a painting like it would be reality. So I think that that is very important to look at it, because when we see this picture of the saints or the goddess and gods of many other traditions, we see this luminous creature, beautiful. We dress in many ways, the colors, the halo. And what we artists wanted to do was to capture something that cannot be captured in words, but it cannot be captured in image either. So when the mind apprehends an image or an idea, it gets in the way for us sometimes to realize what is already in us, as us, that cannot go any place, that cannot be lost. Really. There is the sensation that I lost my soul, I lost myself, because in one way or another, we have been embedded in a world of mind illusion that is like a labyrinth. We don't know how to come back. In reality, we are already back, but with the attention trapped into this activity of the mind. And I think that there's nothing wrong with activity on the mind, unless that we trust that that's the truth. And that is what is going to rule our life. So then we find ourselves in this internal battle between wanted to be here, present, but being pulled our attention to the world of the mind, one side saying something to the other. One way that it can be very easy to go through is just by not moving in any direction, not doing in any way anything, and see what happened. What arises, typically arise an incredible degree of fear. Sometimes become even terror. Because when there's no attention going to the mind sense that it is annihilating, it has no breath, it cannot breathe, there are no air, and cannot do anything. It's like lost. And you get terrified because the survival mechanism, the need of the mind to survive, it feels threatened. It feels like, oh, this is the end. I don't have food. I'm not being able to survive. But if we are willing to stay long enough, we can actually experience, open, realize what is limitless, what is free from the mind constriction of value system, of habits. And it is important, if one is dedicated to this inquiry, to this self-realization, that the attention turn into it relentlessly, all the time, and see what happens. Is, when you really, really want something, what do? You actually put your mind and attention into that. And you realize that unless you do that, it will not be possible for you to accomplish it at all. So it's the same here. And it's not have to be the greatest effort. What have to be is the turning periodically. Let me see. Is presence here right now or is not? And see through the day how that space, even that silence, is still present, is still here, which allow us to live life more and more from the presence that is present. So when the mind say, I want to wake up, I wanted to get self-realized. What the mind is talking about is an idea, is something that has been learned. And unfortunately, in this search, it can be forever, because it's coming from a place that is not totally authentic. It's searching for something. And in this, there's nothing to get, because who you already are. You cannot get it. It's already in you. So it's a trick, because you have to be willing and want it. And at the same time, you cannot get anything new, because it's already here, present. So for me, this event that we are living together all over the world, what have ignited in me is a deep desire to really assist, share the possibility of waking up, of realize our true nature now. Now, not tomorrow, not when I have everything done, because we don't know how much time we actually have for this moment that we're having right now. We don't know. Things can change dramatically. And whatever we thought that we will keep, our time, our space, our disponibility, our health, maybe it won't be here tomorrow. But if one has opened fully to this self-realization, whatever will come will find us in a state of gratitude. That doesn't matter, that doesn't mean that we will not be able to be impacted severely for whatever condition may happen, being economical disasters or a environmental tragedy, or even political and government overpower. We don't know, because this situation that we're living, we had no idea how will turn. And we may not be able even to do Zoom satsang because something happened in the system. So the urgency for me is right now, because it doesn't take time. It's simply the willingness to surrender the attitude of the mind to keep us in a state of fluctuation, wanting something perfect, wanting to be in certain way, wanted to have control. What would it be like when we totally clear that we cannot control our existence, our emotions, our environment, and surrender to the reality that life is living freely through us, as us, with the intelligence and a wisdom that sometimes is very surprising. Can we trust this life in the midst of where we are. I have been reflecting in this situation and realizing that many of us were very clear that life was going in a speed and a direction that we were not even able to think about it. It was overwhelming in the race to get to some place, to get more of this, more of that. And it was like a horse. You know, a horse that, I don't even know the word in English, but you know, when a horse is going and it loses control and you don't know when it's going to stop or how. So life has a stop for a moment. And in this stopping is the opportunity not only to rest, but to find a new direction. Whatever that direction is going to be, but it's needed to stop. It needed to slow down. It needed to let this movement for this moment to don't move any longer. So it's very similar than the mind. Sometimes we stop the mind is a tragedy, is an event, is a fear, or is a depression, is something that fully stop it. But we can have the choice to do it, to stop it before any tragedy. We can simply take the decision in this moment to find a way of commitment with oneself to realize what is already here, what is naturally here, present in every one of us. It's mysterious. It cannot be sought, but it can be revealed. And we can discover the oneness within ourselves with everything that is. Namaste.